What if I told you that one of the most private acts a man can engage in might also be one of the most crucial for his health and vitality as he gets older? We're not just talking about a fleeting moment of release or a guilty pleasure. We're talking about a practice that could fundamentally shape your longevity, your confidence, and the quality of your later years. Masturbation in old age, a subject too often buried under awkward silence, outdated stigma, or shrugged off as unimportant. But the truth is, this natural act may hold more importance for men past 50, 60, or 70 than ever before. So today we're diving deep into the questions many men secretly wonder about but rarely ask out loud. Is masturbation normal in later life? Is it healthy? And perhaps the question that lingers in the back of many minds, until what age can you and should you continue to masturbate? These aren't idle curiosities, they are questions that strike at the heart of male vitality, dignity, and well-being. The myth that sexual desire and function simply evaporate with age is one of the most harmful pieces of misinformation men face. Our culture often treats sexuality as though it has an expiration date, tied to youth and physical peak. Once you pass a certain age, it's almost as if society expects you to quietly retire, not just from work, but from desire itself. This is a subtle but damaging form of ageism, because here's the truth. Sexuality does not disappear with age. The desire for intimacy, touch, connection, and pleasure is a lifelong human need. And when men deny themselves or feel forced to suppress these needs, it does more than just rob them of enjoyment. It can actively harm their health. Men today don't just want to live longer, they want to live better, they want to maintain strength, clarity, and vitality across every part of life, including sexuality. And yet this cultural blind spot discourages men from seeking information, asking questions, or being proactive about maintaining their sexual function. It creates a sense of shame around something that is entirely natural, even essential. Think about it. No one would tell a 65-year-old to stop exercising because he's too old. No one would suggest giving up vegetables because eating healthy is a young man's game. We all understand that exercise and diet are critical to health at any age. Well, it's time we start viewing sexual activity in the same light, as a fundamental pillar of wellness. Not an indulgence, not an embarrassment, but an integral part of what keeps men healthy and vital. Ignoring it isn't harmless. It has real biological consequences. And that leads us to one of the most important physiological principles every man must understand, the use it or lose it rule. This isn't just a catchy slogan. When it comes to penile health, it's biological reality. The penis is not a bone that simply exists in a static state. It is a vascular organ, a dynamic structure made of smooth muscle and spongy elastic tissue, and it depends entirely on blood flow to stay healthy. An erection isn't just about pleasure, it's the penis's natural work. Every time an erection occurs, blood vessels open, arteries widen, and oxygen-rich blood surges into those tissues. That flood of oxygen nourishes and maintains the smooth muscle cells, keeping them elastic, flexible, and responsive. It's the body's built-in maintenance system. For younger men, this maintenance happens automatically. Spontaneous erections, especially nocturnal ones during sleep, provide regular oxygenation without much thought. But as men age, a combination of factors, declining testosterone, cardiovascular issues, diabetes, neurological changes, and medication side effects reduce the frequency of these automatic erections. And when the erections stop, the workout stops. The tissues receive less oxygen, and the body begins to compensate. It lays down collagen, which is essentially scar tissue, in a process called fibrosis. Over time, tissues that were once supple and flexible become stiff and unresponsive. The penis can even lose length and girth, a condition called penile atrophy, and achieving firm erections becomes increasingly difficult. This isn't a scare tactic, it's physiology. The less the penis is used, the harder it becomes to use. It's a downward spiral that too many men fall into silently, assuming it's just old age, when in fact it's disuse syndrome. Now that we've established the importance of masturbation as a natural lifelong health practice, let's go deeper into the mechanics and science behind why it is so essential, especially for men in their later decades. Think of your penis the same way you would think of your heart, your lungs, or your muscles. Each one needs consistent use to stay strong and resilient. Just as lifting weights maintains muscle mass and cardiovascular exercise strengthens your heart, regular erections, whether achieved through partnered sex or masturbation, serve as your penis's built-in workout. When you stimulate yourself and achieve an erection, you are doing much more than creating arousal. You are directly improving blood flow, delivering fresh oxygen to penile tissues, and preventing long-term damage that comes with disuse. This process is vital because with age, natural erections that occur spontaneously, particularly during sleep, become less frequent. Younger men may have multiple nocturnal erections each night, often without awareness, but as you grow older, factors like hormonal shifts, chronic illness, reduced testosterone levels, and vascular changes limit how often those erections happen. The result is less oxygen reaching the tissues, leading to a slow but steady deterioration of function. Masturbation reverses that process by deliberately restoring circulation. You are literally breathing life into your sexual organ, one erection at a time. Beyond physical maintenance, masturbation has remarkable benefits for your mental health. Every orgasm releases a surge of neurotransmitters that create a cascade of well-being. Endorphins act as natural painkillers and mood boosters. Dopamine brings satisfaction and motivation. Oxytocin calms the mind and encourages a sense of security. Together, this cocktail is nature's prescription against stress, anxiety, and depression. This is why many men report feeling more at ease, more energized, and more centered after releasing through masturbation. It is not indulgence, it is therapy. Even your sleep benefits. The relaxation that follows orgasm can help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, giving your body the restorative cycles it needs to function at its best. This becomes especially important after 50 or 60, when sleep often becomes more fragmented and elusive. Masturbation also plays a role in cardiovascular health, though in a mild way. The act of arousal and orgasm increases your heart rate temporarily, stimulates circulation, and mimics a light workout. It is not a substitute for regular exercise, but it complements it, especially when paired with a lifestyle of healthy eating, physical movement, and proper rest. Another crucial dimension is the psychological liberation it offers. Too many men carry unnecessary shame about masturbation well into adulthood and even late life. This stigma robs them of a practice that could dramatically improve their well-being. But when reframed as a legitimate form of self-care, it changes everything. You are no longer sneaking or hiding a behavior. You are consciously practicing something that protects your vitality, preserves your function, and sustains your joy. Understanding this shift in perspective is crucial because guilt and shame can create stress, which in turn disrupts sexual performance. By embracing masturbation as healthy and necessary, you reduce that pressure and allow your body to respond more naturally. Of course, we must also address a modern risk that has become more common with the rise of technology: pornography. While masturbation itself is beneficial, pairing it exclusively with endless online novelty can cause problems. The human brain adapts quickly to hyperstimulation, and the constant barrage of extreme scenarios online can create desensitization. This means that over time, real-life arousal, whether with a partner or even with your imagination, may not feel as exciting, making it harder to perform without those exaggerated visual cues. This condition, sometimes referred to as porn-induced erectile dysfunction, is becoming a growing concern. The solution is not to avoid masturbation, but to practice it mindfully, without over-reliance on digital stimulation. By focusing on your sensations, fantasies, memories, or even reading erotic literature instead of relying exclusively on videos, you reconnect with your own body. That connection is what keeps your arousal authentic and sustainable. So when we ask how long should you continue to masturbate, the real answer is simple: for as long as you want to maintain your sexual health, your vitality, and your sense of self. There is no expiration date, no point at which the body declares you are too old. The only limit is your willingness and comfort. Even men well into their 80s and 90s have reported maintaining regular masturbation and enjoying all its benefits. Far from being strange, it is a testament to the resilience of the human body and spirit. The important thing is consistent. Medical research on penile rehabilitation, particularly studies involving men recovering from prostate surgery, consistently shows that even 1 or 2 erections per week, whether spontaneous or self-induced, can make a measurable difference in preserving penile tissue health. That's the bare minimum. More frequent sessions are absolutely fine as long as they feel enjoyable and balanced. Think of it like walking. You don't need to run a marathon every day, but getting up and moving regularly is essential to avoid decline. The same principle applies here. And just as with any health habit, the benefits compound over time. Regular practice means stronger tissues, healthier circulation, steadier mood, and a deeper connection with yourself. In this way, masturbation becomes not just an act of release, but an act of maintenance, of prevention, and of affirmation that your sexual vitality matters no matter your age. So where does all of this leave us? Let's bring it together with a clear, empowering perspective. If you are a man in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or even beyond, masturbation is not something to feel embarrassed about, nor is it something to treat as a childish act left behind in adolescence. It is a cornerstone of sexual health, a form of maintenance for your body, and a pathway to continued intimacy with yourself. And intimacy with yourself matters because it sustains intimacy with others. Many men who practice regular self-pleasure report that they feel more confident in partnered relationships. They approach intimacy with less performance anxiety because they are already familiar with what brings them pleasure and how their bodies respond. This knowledge makes them better lovers, more attuned to their partners, and less fearful of natural fluctuations in erectile strength or stamina that can come with age. Another overlooked benefit is prostate health. Regular ejaculation helps flush the prostate, removing old seminal fluid and lowering the risk of inflammation or stagnation. Some research even suggests that frequent ejaculation throughout a man's lifetime may reduce the risk of prostate cancer. While the evidence is still evolving, the potential protective effect adds yet another layer of value to the practice. Combined with regular checkups and healthy lifestyle choices, this creates a holistic approach to male reproductive health. But perhaps the most profound impact of masturbation in later life is psychological. Too often, aging is framed as a process of decline, of inevitable loss. Men are told to expect fading strength, diminishing desire, and shrinking vitality. But what if you chose a different story? What if instead of seeing aging as the slow extinguishing of pleasure, you saw it as an opportunity to deepen your connection with your body? Masturbation can be part of that reef. It becomes a declaration that you are still alive, still deserving of pleasure, and still in control of your sexuality. It pushes back against the narrative that your worth is defined by youth, reminding you that sexuality is not a stage of life, it is life itself. And this brings us back to the original question: until what age should you masturbate? The most truthful, evidence-based answer is simple: until the day you no longer want to. Your body places no expiration date on sexual activity. Your biology rewards you for staying in. Your mind benefits from the release of tension. Your relationships thrive when you remain connected to your own pleasure. There is no age at which masturbation becomes abnormal, dangerous, or unhealthy. In fact, the opposite is true. Stopping too early, whether out of shame, misinformation, or misplaced guilt, is what invites decline. Continuing is what sustains you. Of course, moderation and balance matter. If masturbation becomes compulsive to the point of interfering with daily life, relationships, or responsibilities, then it needs to be addressed, just like any other habit that grows out of proportion. But for the vast majority of men, particularly older men, the risk is not doing it too much, it is doing it too little. And when done in balance, the benefits far outweigh the risk. It is as natural as stretching your muscles, as nourishing as eating healthy food, and as stabilizing as getting a good night's sleep. So if you have ever wondered whether it is still normal, still safe, or still worthwhile to touch yourself in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, let me assure you, not only is it normal, it is one of the smartest, healthiest, and most affirming choices you can make. Your penis depends on it, your mood depends on it, your prostate depends on it, and perhaps most importantly, your sense of dignity and vitality depends on it. This is not about shame, it is about strength. It is about choosing to keep every part of yourself alive and responsive for as long as you possibly can. So the next time you hear that quiet voice of doubt asking, "Am I too old for this?" silence it with the truth: no, you are not. You are exactly the right age to keep taking care of yourself, the right age to keep honoring your body, the right age to keep embracing pleasure as an essential part of health. Masturbation is not a guilty secret for boys, it is a vital practice for men, and you, no matter your age, are still a man who deserves the full richness of life, in body and mind and in pleasure.